In this video, we're going to walk through the preparation of an accounts receivable aging schedule to estimate our ending allowance for doubtful accounts. Rather than using a simple percentage of all receivables to estimate our allowance for doubtful accounts, an aging schedule breaks down our receivables into different buckets or time periods. We've got receivables that are basically current. They're due anytime between now and the next 30 days. We've got receivables that are broken down into a due in 30 to 60 days, a 60 to 90 days, and then of course those that we're less likely to collect over 90 days past due. And notice, we're going to use a different estimated percentage for the collectability of each one of these. Receivables that are over 90 days past due, we estimate there's only a 20% chance of collecting them. Receivables that are 60 to 90 days, there's an 8% chance. 30 to 60 days, a 4% chance. And even those receivables that are fairly current, we still estimate some small portion of those will be uncollectible. Again, these percentages are going to come from past experience. So what do? We take the 20% that we estimate, or the $48,000 in this 90-day period, and multiply it by 20%. And we estimate that $9,600 is how much we need in the allowance for doubtful accounts for the receivables that are over 90 days past due. For the 60 to 90 day period, we take the $32,000 and we multiply it by 8%, and we're estimating that $2,560 of this $32,000 in receivables will go uncollected. We make similar calculations for the 30 to 60 day as well as the 0 to 30 day periods. Then we sum up our total allowance for each one of these buckets or time periods, and we estimate that our total allowance for doubtful accounts should be $16,600. Now, let's go ahead and prepare our required adjusting journal entry if the current balance is $2,000. And again, an ending credit balance simply means in the prior period we set aside a bit too much. In the current period, we won't have to set aside quite as much. So here's our $2,000 credit balance and our allowance for doubtful accounts. We've just estimated that we need an ending balance of $16,600. This is going to require an adjusting entry for $14,600. So we will debit bad debt expense for $14,600, which will ultimately decrease stockholders' equity, and we credit the allowance for doubtful accounts for $14,600. Let's go through the same process in terms of our journal entry if at the end of the period we had a $600 debit balance. And again, a debit balance typically means that we didn't set aside enough in the prior period. Our estimate was too low, and in the current period we're going to have to record a slightly higher expense. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Again, there's our $600 debit balance. We've estimated our ending allowance should be $16,600, which means in this case we need an adjusting entry of $17,200. We debit bad debt expense for $17,200, which of course will reduce net income and ultimately reduce stockholders' equity, and we credit our allowance for doubtful accounts for $17,200. Again, we don't know which customers aren't going to pay out of all these calculations up here, but we know some of the amounts that customers owe us they will not pay. And our best estimate is that out of this $262,000, $16,600 will go bad. Again, our percentages down here are based on prior experience. If the economy worsens, if the coronavirus hits, we might want to set aside a little bit more, have higher estimates of uncollectible amounts. On the other hand, if the economy is very strong, we would use lower percentages.